Selamat siang. Welcome back to another Bali COVID-19 update. This is May 2nd, 2022, and my name is Bruce. Eid Mubarak if you're celebrating Eid. So we're done with Ramadan, and Eid was yesterday, but the holiday continues to go on. Selamat Hari Pendidikan, Indonesia. This is National Teachers Day, or National Education Day, not National Teachers Day. National Education Day in Indonesia. Didn't know that, just saw that on social media a little while ago. And so Bali is packed from what I hear and what I see. Social media, I saw a traffic jam in Ubud last night. It looked like the old days. And in Denpasar, and Sanur, Canggu, there are people everywhere in the island. And so that's what we're talking about today. What is happening with the Eid holidays? And people are here, and it's good times in terms of the economy. But unsurprisingly, lots of sniping by foreigners that are here now, whining about the traffic and restaurants. And I saw people lined up actually in a place to get gelato last night. So, wow, people forgot that it was just recently that everybody was complaining about how poor people were here and how they couldn't eat, and they were selling their cars and their motorbikes. Now they're complaining that there's too many people here. Sometimes it never ends. But it is good news, and so this is a good news video. Nothing from immigration and anything. I just got a feed from the immigration's Instagram, I don't know what they're called, stories or something, and it was food, the calories in certain types of food. So if you expected them to put something about the visas, ain't happening. So if you have questions about the visas, you are most likely going to have to wait until the 9th of May, or possibly later. So let's take a look at the numbers. This is holiday time, so I'm not putting much faith in the numbers. I'm not counting it for much because, yeah, it's holiday time. But they're good anyway. National new cases, 168. National recoveries, 371. And national deaths, 14. Bali new cases, 17. Bali recoveries, 16. And Bali deaths, 2. So those are all great numbers. And if we see those great numbers in another week, wow, then I would be really excited about the numbers. And so let's get right into the first story. Hotel occupancy rate during Eid in Bali averaged 75%. Okay. And who said this? Was this one of Pak Sandiaga Uno's predictions? No. This was stated by Dr. Yoga Iswara, chairman of the Indonesian Hotel General Managers Association, Bali, IHGMA. And he said this yesterday. He added, meanwhile, in certain area hotels such as Seminyak, the occupancy rate on certain days during the Lebaran period reaches 90 to 100%. Wow, people have got to be nuts in those areas to see tourists back again. Tourists, domestic or international, they're tourists, they're filling up hotel rooms, they're going out to restaurants, they're visiting sites, they're buying stuff. It's great. He additionally said that the condition of tourism recovery in Bali is very positive. Even in April, international tourist visits were up to 2,000 a day or 60,000 a month. He said this is good momentum for Bali to remain market confidence gradually but surely. However, he said, our next hope is that Bali has a realistic but well-planned plan for the 2022 international tourist arrival market, including the strategies taken to achieve this target. We must not be complacent, let alone not have a strategy, because all of Bali's competitors are hungry. Without a clear plan and strategy, systematic as we plan to fail. Those are some good words. We can't get overconfident now that people are coming back. And that goes for the visa issue too. We need to stay on these things so people don't get turned off. Let's keep bringing people in here. It would be great to see a full summer period, or well, summer for me, the dry season for us as well. So good news on hotels, and let's take another look at how Bali is weathering the Eid holidays. Long holiday moment. Tourists invade Tanah, Tabanan. Idul Fitri holiday predicted 4,000 tourists. So visits to Tanah, the tourist destination in the Kediri district, has been visited by thousands of local tourists and hundreds of foreign tourists since Friday, April 29th, a few days ago. It's predicted that tourist visits will increase during the long holiday period, up to 4,000 visits a day. Wow. This is amazing. It's amazing, the numbers here. And these are real numbers. These are not numbers that have been made up out of the air or wherever from, well, some well-known figures who I won't mention right now. According to data obtained from the Tanah management, the total number of visits last week, the period of 25th to 30th of April, was 9,278 people. This number began to increase since Friday, April 29th at 1,985 people, and Saturday, 2,812. And so we have tourists running all over the island. And were tourists coming in big buses? No. A spokesperson said so far, since last Friday, the tourist visits are not coming in buses that usually crowded the parking lot. There are more family groups coming from various regions from Java, Sumatra, Kalimantan. At this moment, he said, most of the family groups come from Jakarta and Surabaya. And if you're out on the road, you know you can look at plates and you'll see a lot of Surabaya and a lot of Jakarta plates. When asked about the number of foreign tourists that are coming to visit the tourist attractions in Tabanan, he said that the number has started to increase. Tourists are coming in around 300 per day. And these numbers are expected to increase. And then at the end of the Eid period, which is 8th and 9th, we're going to see a drop in domestic tourists. But we are continuing to get international tourists, and that is what I'm going to talk about right now. International flights to Bali up by 143% in April. So Governor Koster said that the number of international flights to Bali in April reached a 148% increase compared with March, and that was 123 aircraft, and in April 305 aircraft. He said there was a total of 66,685 foreign tourists in April, or an average of 2,222, oh, nice numbers, per day. According to the governor, the improvement in COVID-19 cases and the high achievement of booster vaccines has created a comfortable, safe, and conducive atmosphere for tourists to return to Bali. And with that, you add the no quarantine, the visa on arrival for 60 countries, and the no PCR test when you get here. And, well, those are all part of the recipe for success in getting tourists back on the island. The number of domestic flights to Bali in March 2022 was 2,188 aircraft with a total of 276,619 passengers, or 9,220 people per day. The governor said the momentum must be maintained so that the recovery of tourism continues as an effort to restore Bali's economy as a whole. He said efforts to restore tourism and the Balinese economy would continue in a better situation because Bali is the venue for the global platform for disaster risk reduction meetings being held the 23rd to the 28th in May. Okay, more international meetings, that's a good sign. There'll be over 4,000 participants from 193 countries. So if you're living down in the south, things are going to get busy down there. The governor said what is very important, Bali has also been trusted to be the venue for the G20 presidency conference, which includes various series of meetings. Ministerial level meetings will be held from mid-2022, not long from now. The governor said that the summit will be attended directly by 39 heads of state, with the number of participants reaching more than 10,000 people on November 15th and 16th of this year. Who would have thought 5 months ago that we would be here? Things were looking pretty grim there for a while, and, well, they're looking up. And what can you say? You have to be happy about this. And what about travel? Some more travel. And what about those people coming and going from Bali to Java, for example? Homecoming queues in Gilimanuk still occur on Sunday. So that was 2 days ago, and I wouldn't doubt that they're still occurring now. Queues of travelers with thousands of vehicles, especially private cars and trucks, at Gilimanuk Harbor in Jembrana Regency continued on Sunday until the early morning. Previously, long queues of vehicles began to occur starting on Thursday, which was dominated by private cars. To break the queues, officers carried out traffic engineering by directing buses and travel vehicles from the Denpasar Gilimanuk main route to the LCM docking parking area, and travelers who drive private cars and motorbikes are directed to enter the village road in Gang 1, while private cars go to Gang 2 and Gang 3 in Gilimanuk village. The queue of private cars and trucks, get this, reached 1.5 to 2 kilometers and took 4 to 8 hours to get through. Man, yeah, it's a good thing that Indonesians are patient, because I could never do this. On Friday, there were 45,944 homecomers crossing to Java from Bali via Gilimanuk, with 9,266 vehicles, with the dominance of private cars up to 3,727 units. And in a nice touch, the region of Jembrana visited travelers who were queuing up at Gilimanuk and provided motivation for them to arrive safely at their destinations. He said, take advantage of the service post to rest. Don't force yourself to continue driving because it's dangerous. Safety is the main thing, so you can spend Eid with your family. Wow, it's nice to see some government officials getting out with the people. And there is going to be that reverse flow, like I was talking about before, coming up in another 3 or 4 days. People are going to start going home, either coming back to Bali to go to work or going back to Java. If they came here, like, we got a lot of people in the compound. And my house is like a zoo. I mean, there are kids everywhere, grandkids, nephews, nieces, brother-in-laws, sister-in-laws, my children. I'm up here safe on the 3rd floor. And so that's traveling by land and sea. What about by air? Homecoming 2022 following are the conditions of Ngurah Airport during Eid holidays. According to Tribune Bali, on Sunday, May 1st, there were crowds at the domestic arrivals terminal. Most tourists come in groups, either with family or friends. And they reported as being enthusiastic, taking turns, taking pictures of the words Bali, which is in front of the arrival gate. The article said the hot sun didn't dampen their enthusiasm for taking pictures. Herman, one of the tourists, admitted this time he came to the Island of Gods with his small family to vacation in Bali. And he said he's very happy to set foot here again after the restrictions due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, I'm definitely happy because I can vacation again, let alone go to Bali, he said. And the reports that the planes were full, but people were not having problems getting tickets. And the bustling terminal at the airport, also due to the large number of guest pickers, guest pickers, I guess it means guest picker-uppers, standing around the arrival gate. Some of them carried nameplates of people that they would pick up. So drivers are back working again. They haven't worked for a long time, and I've already started to see complaints about drivers on social media. We're getting back to normal. One of the guest pickers, Tanah, said that since 2 months ago, he's returned to actively doing his job, and he said the schedule is getting busier just before the Eid holiday. He said since the downcrease in coronavirus cases, he's been able to do his job again. He said he could pick up 3 to 4 guests a day now, and that before the pandemic, he could pick up even more than that. But there were all those time, the 2 years when he was not working. He said he had been unemployed for a year and a half, and he hopes that Bali can be as crowded with tourists as before. And we are still in a pandemic, and so Crowds of passengers are under strict scrutiny from security forces, I'll bet. And they carry out patrols around the terminal areas as well as remind visitors who have not obeyed the health protocols to obey the health protocols in order to keep COVID-19 cases down. And one final segment on South Korea, one of my favorite places. And hello, my South Korean friends. Why is this article important? Because I hope the government sees it and picks up the hint and does the same. South Korea drops outdoor mask rule, but many prefer to keep them on. They have the option. Health authorities in South Korea lifted the mask mandate outdoors for wearing masks outdoors starting yesterday, and it's the latest step in relaxing distancing curbs even among opposition from the transition team. So there was a new election, right, presidential election, and the new president is supposed to take office, I think, on the 9th of this month. They're not real happy with the outgoing administration dropping these rules, because if the case numbers shoot up again, who's going to get blamed? The new administration. However, despite dropping the mask mandate, many people were still seen wearing masks, especially in areas where there are government and corporate buildings. When asked, people said it just made them feel safer. The Korean Disease Control and Prevention Agency, KDCA, reported 20,084 new COVID cases on Sunday, with daily cases continuing to drop from a peak of more than 620,000 in mid-March. People are still required to wear masks indoors and at outdoor events with more than 50 attendants. In central Seoul, at one of the parks, about 80% of the dozens of visitors there were wearing masks. One of them said she was glad to be able to take a walk without a mask. She was one of the ones not wearing a mask. Without a mask for the first time for 2 years. She said, "I've come here to jog for a long time." 71 years old and she's jogging. Good for her. But walking without a mask now, it feels so fresh and great. And that's what I want to feel. I want to be able to take my walks and be able to breathe. And so that's it. Done for today. Videos are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. That's the COVID-19 videos, and the cooking video on Sunday. There was a cooking video that I put up day before yesterday. If you haven't seen it, link is right here. And I've also been putting up my walking tour Singaraja snippets videos, and one link to another one is here. That's the most recent one, and I am going to be uploading the second part of that one tomorrow, Wednesday. And then Thursday, I'll be back with another Bali COVID-19 update. If you enjoyed this, if you found it useful, helpful, informative, scintillating, amusing, humorous, non-irritating, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, because then you'll be notified when videos are updated. And I will be updating things outside of the schedule if something happens that needs to be talked about right away, and if it impacts you as a foreign resident living here or visiting here, or for people that want to come in. And that's especially true when the visas, information about the visas happens. I forgot the weather report. It is windy, windy, windy. Okay, the weather report should have been at the first. It's at the end today. I just forgot it. The wind speed, it is windy today. The wind speed is 21.4 kilometers per hour. The temperature is 32.4 degrees Celsius. It is hot. And the humidity is 62%. It's kind of overcast today. Thanks for viewing. Stay safe. Be kind to someone today. And I will see you on Thursday.